Watch out.
What are you doing?
Going to the bathroom.
Ew!
Sip.
No.
Okay.
So into.
Between our sheets. Between our sheets.
Episode of Between Our Sheets, we are going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly when moving in with your partner the very first time. You know, there was quite a bit of surprises, in my opinion, when we first moved in together. I wasn't expecting. There was a lot, and we'll get into that. Like, I want to start with you. Like, what to you surprised? Was there any surprises with me?
Personally, no, you're a very clean person. I don't know, when it came to kids stuff, yes, I was surprised.
Yeah, and I think I agree, actually, because it was a lot to do with the kids.
Yeah.
And the messes, and I
Yeah.
mean, we doubled in size as far as kids go.
Yeah.
You know, and that was huge and messy and frustrating and everything in between. And honestly, I don't want to get into the kids as much, though.
Okay, because really, I mean, not everybody has kids.
Yeah,
right?
and I want to talk about like what we experienced, and maybe some of our listeners could agree and they possibly went through the same thing.
Yeah.
But first, I think for me, no, like I said, I want to start with you.
Okay.
So what surprised you about me?
When we moved in together?
Yeah.
Okay, a big thing, it sounds so little, I think, or silly to some, but a big thing was dishes.
So you didn't like that I did the dishes, and
I didn't like that you would put pots and pans in the dishwasher.
well, you leave dirty dishes stacked up to the ceiling for days on end.
Okay, that's
To this day.
false. I don't.
Yep.
The kids don't put their dishes in the dishwasher. However, I was always taught you hand wash your pots and pans. Everything else can go in the dishwasher, but you hand wash your pots and pans, and you would like put everything in the dishwasher.
Well, I think it's because everything we had was dishwasher safe. So why wouldn't we put it in the dishwasher? I would always get all the stuff out of it, but then it's like an extra wash if you put it in the dishwasher. So I don't know why that's a big deal.
Because you can fit more, you can fit more in the dishwasher if you're hand washing the big pots and pans. And then two, I guess that's just how I grew up. You hand wash your pots and pans. Even when I was younger, we didn't have a dishwasher. So we had to hand wash everything. So then when a dishwasher came along, then it was, you're still going to hand wash the pots and pans.
So then how come you don't hand wash the other dishes that are in the sink?
That's too time consuming.
Okay, I'm a little confused then. If we're hand washing some of the stuff, why not just hand wash all of it?
Because when you're talking about a pot and a pan versus say we all sit down for a meal, that's 5 plates, 5 forks, 5 cups. That's all, those things can go in the dishwasher. It takes less time to do the pots and pans by hand.
So what you mean, okay, so where we're getting at is number one complaint is dishes.
Yep.
And I think that's still ongoing today. I think that's never been really resolved, but we've kind of learned to live with it.
I don't know about live. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it is living with it, and it's just, it is what it is, I guess,
At this point.
Yeah. Another thing for me was clutter. You roll your eyes, but for me, clutter, it drives me nuts, and I feel like it was just a big awakening for me to have as much clutter around the house as we do. I mean, it was no organization. It was like, oh, this stack of papers can go here. This stack of
That
papers over
is
here.
so false. It was
How?
it was not like, oh, let's take all this paper and just throw it everywhere and we live in a hoarder's house. Like that's what you make it sound like.
It's kind of what it's like sometimes, and that's kind of like something I've had to get used to be completely honest.
Okay, you know what? One of these episodes we're gonna take you guys on a tour of our house, and then you guys can see how our house is not a hoarder house.
But why is it not as cluttered now?
'Cause we have more space.
Well, yes, we have more space, but
What?
because I started putting stuff away because it was driving me nuts.
What stuff?
Well, I mean, okay, here we go. We're going to get deep into this one. So, one big thing for me was the stairs.
Oh,
All the stacks of things on the stairs. Like, to me, I'm just thinking someone's going to break their neck. Like, someone's going to walk down the stairs in the middle of the night and they're going to slip on this binder or paper or whatever else is sitting there on the stairs, and they're just going to break their necks. And it just, that one was a big adjustment for me.
okay. So, things on the stairs it's always, if the kids don't take care of it, whatever kid, like their pile, like whether it be like not shoes anymore because they're much bigger, but like their school papers or they left something downstairs, it's in a pile on the stairs. So it's like they know, grab your pile, take it up. Do they remember? Absolutely not. And eventually I bring it upstairs. But it's not like the stairs are completely cluttered with like, you have to like make your own path. Do you want to take the cameras on the stairs right now?
We could do a tour of the well, okay. Right now, no, because I moved the stuff that was on the stairs. And
Such
actually
crap.
And okay, so we're talking about the now, but we're wanting to talk about when we first moved in with each other.
Yeah.
Another
It was a bad habit when we first moved in together.
It was, and it's continued, but it's gotten better.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, another thing for me was, and I think a lot of males can probably relate to me with this one, but the bathroom space, like the counter space for a man goes from, I have the whole counter. I could, put my toothbrush here. I could put my cologne here, my deodorant here, to having absolutely no room at all. Like I get a little corner of our bathroom
Yep.
sink, and that's about it. And we have a double sink in our bathroom, and I still only get this little corner. And along with that goes, like, we have the drawers in between both sinks. And when we first moved in here, I looked in there and they're like completely full with your stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, do I get a drawer?
You got the top one.
I got the top one.
Yeah, you got the top
Eventually, after I said something about it.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
you were going to leave me with nothing.
I mean, not necessarily nothing. It was just, I have needs for space.
That you do. But I mean, it is what it is. I think, obviously I'm making it sound like it bugs me really bad right now. But in all reality, if it bugged me that badly, would I have stuck around this long? No,
Probably not.
it's all little petty shit that we can get over, and it's not as big as I'm making it sound. But that was a big eye opener for me. I wasn't used to the stuff on the stairs, the stuff all over the sink. And even going back to like previous marriages, because we both were married before.
Yeah.
I think that it was still different, right? Like we had our bitching and moaning with our exes, and what they did and what we didn't like with what they did. But
Right.
in our current relationship, it's different. And
Right.
there are other things that bug us. And I don't know, like what what's another big one for you? I kind of feel like I'm going on a rant here and complaining, and I sound like an asshole. But
No.
um, I want to know what bugs you too.
I think a big thing when we moved in with each other as well is one, having to share the bed again, because one would always sleep with my kids. Like they always co-slept with me. It wasn't just when they were babies. Like our 7-year-old still will come into bed with us, and I have no problem with it. Him, on the other hand, he likes to sleep. I don't mind. But when we first moved in with each other, it was me having to be in bed with another adult, I guess is the best way to put it, with you, and you were like snoring so much. And I used to tell you so much about the snoring. You're like, I don't snore. And like finally, I think there was a time where I actually recorded you because I'm like, I can't do this. This is crazy.
That wasn't at the beginning of our relationship, though.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that was like within the last like few years.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, you're
It
snoring.
got worse over the last few years. And don't bring up my sleep apnea.
Well, my whole thing now, like, it's not really an excuse, but it is the reason I snored so badly. Was for people who don't know, I've lost 150 pounds in the last year. So I was a complete different person. And
Yeah.
I really think my snoring had a lot to do with my weight. And I don't snore anymore.
No, you don't.
And that's the thing. So that tells me it had to have been my weight that was causing me to snore like that.
Yep.
You, on the other hand,
Lies. They're
snore
lies.
so bad all the time. But
No.
before we talk more about your snoring, I
Okay.
want to go back a little bit and talk about how we were co-sleeping.
Okay.
So
I know that was a huge thing for you.
Yeah, because I think it was such a big thing for me because having a little one in between us worried me that I was going to turn over on top of them and hurt them. And because I moved around a lot too. When I was bigger, I moved around the bed a lot. So that was a big fear of mine, was hurting the kid. And I didn't want, I just wasn't getting good enough sleep at night because of that. And, it really worried me. And then secondly, with that, we never had adult time.
So true.
It's, we never got the chance to have pillow talk.
As my parents used to say, they're doing their taxes.
It was always
so
like,
weird.
He's always like, oh, well, let's just move them to their bed, or let's move them to the floor. Like, we always had to be like secretive. And in my eyes, I'm like, fuck that. Like, we're adults, we're married. We should be getting down and dirty whenever the hell we want to.
Hence the reason why there's 6 kids at that point in time.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't down and dirty with each other. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, no, hell no. No, like the co-sleeping, I get it. Like looking back now, I'm like, yeah, we could have had more adult time for sure. But I don't know. When they're younger, it's moments I treasure.
Yeah, I guess. It's just, I guess that was a hard adjustment for me. I've always been one to not co-sleep anyway, just because it's a bad habit, in my opinion. I think that...
I disagree.
You think it's a good habit?
I think it is great. Especially... Okay, the small topic, and then I'll get off of it because I want to stay on point. But breastfeeding all 4 of my kids and being able to be with them and have that bonding experience, and when they co-slept with me, the connection I feel was just so much stronger by doing that.
So are you trying to say, which I know the answer to this, but for our listeners, like, did you breastfeed until they were 7?
Okay. No.
Well, that's my point, because we were co-sleeping, and like you brought up our daughter now, she's 7 and she's getting better. She's actually like in her bed now for most of the night, and she'll come, probably like anywhere between 2 and 5 in the morning, she'll come into our bed. But that's my point. Like, You're done breastfeeding, so why aren't they in their bed?
Because they love me more. A mother's love cannot be explained. A parent's love cannot be explained. And I'm sorry, but they're only little once. They're only like, our life is already short enough as it is. So anytime that they want to come in and sleep, I don't care if they're 18, 2, 10, 7, join us in bed. Like, I will take that and absorb it.
I'm telling you right now, if an 18-year-old comes into our bed, we're going to have issues.
If they're our kid.
It doesn't matter. And that's not the kind of issues I'm talking about. Like you're thinking between us. No, we're going to have issues with, I'm kicking his or her ass out of my bed as quick as I can. And they're 18, so they're an adult, so it's going to hurt.
Oh my God.
I'm not kicking lightly.
Lies.
You think it's a lie, but I'm being serious. Why would an 18-year-old come into our bed?
Because they love their mother.
Tell me if you agree, guys. Please tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Maybe she is right. All you mothers I know are going to agree with Sasha. That's just the way it goes. But all you dads, I know damn well you're going to agree with me.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Let the voting start.
Okay, now going back to the snoring. Yes. So I wanted to talk about Sasha's snoring and how much lack of sleep. You see the bags under my eyes?
Such crap.
That's not due to me staying up all night doing editing, even though I do that sometimes. But it is more due to my lovely wife and her loud snoring. Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
On my snoring?
Yeah.
I don't think I snore at all. However,
I have the recordings.
Yes. And I think when we were in California this winter, Olivia, our 16-year-old, she recorded me as well.
Because she thought it was me.
But in all honesty, I have sleep apnea. So if I don't have my breathing machine, you're going to hear it. So.
Yeah. Excuses. When it was me snoring, it was this big deal. But now that it's you, it's okay.
It's totally different. Different situation.
Of course it is.
What about going to the bathroom for the first time? And I'm not talking about like going pee. I'm talking about taking a shit, living together. Because I feel like when you're dating, you wait. Like, at least that's how I was. I know you were that way. Like, you wait till you're away from that person, and then we would go. Whereas when we moved in together and had to do that, it was awkward. At least it was for me.
So I have always been very self-conscious when it comes to going number 2 in front of anybody. And not only going number 2, but also, I guess, farting. I've been real.
We both are that way.
I guess I was just brought up with, no matter who it's in front of, it's kind of disrespectful. And so like I just, at least not on purpose, I've never done it in front of you. And we've been together almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So
same
like,
here.
yeah. And so for the first time, when I first heard you.
When?
Well, I've heard you blow up the bathroom pretty bad.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. Tummy issues are real, people.
It's just, it freaks me out.
Me going to the bathroom?
No, the noise.
I mean, I can't hold it in.
No, I know, and it's not your fault. And I'm not saying like, do not ever do that if you're around me or if you know I'm in the room. That's not what I'm saying. It's more of just like, it's weird for me. For some reason, and this is probably really stupid, but it's just the way I am, I guess. But I get embarrassed when you do it in front of me. I get embarrassed. It's not just me doing it in front of you, because that embarrasses me as well. But when you do it, I get embarrassed too. And I think it's like, it's just a weird thing.
It's a weird feeling. When we first moved in together, like I would go to a separate floor to go to the bathroom. And like fans are on and like everything. And I think we're still pretty much similar with that. And I mean, we're human, right? It happens. But as far as like passing gas, yeah, we've never done that. I think it's just like more of a respect thing, and like you said, like it's just, I don't know, it's unladylike or unmanly like for you to do that. Like that's something you should do in the bathroom.
So, like the first thing I think, like, is it kind of like you don't think we'll ever get to the point where it's like, you know, Leslie Mann in the Change Up?
Oh my gosh. Once we hit our 20 year.
You think we'll get to that point? Like not 20 years, but I'm
I was
saying
like, oh my gosh.
no, like like to the point where we're comfortable enough to like chat with the door open. And
I feel like at some point you just are like, you know what? We're together forever.
I don't think I'll ever get there.
I think you will.
If we ever do, you guys will hear about it, I'm sure. But I just.
Yeah, I think we'll get to the point where one of us is changing the other's diapers. So.
Okay, now we're talking diapers.
No,
how did we get? We went from the beginning of our relationship all the way to like where we're almost dead.
No, you don't know that. That's not
changing diapers.
Dead.
That's like that's pretty damn close to the end. I mean.
Okay. Back to it. What's something else? Moving in together, like what's something that shocked you or like made you more aware of who I am?
The morning face.
The morning face?
Yeah, you know that that face where it's like I just woke up, you look like really tired, no makeup, and it's just like, what the hell is that?
Oh my God.
You know?
That's so mean.
But I have it too. I'm not saying that it's only, I look good all the time, huh?
Yeah, you wish.
Damn, I knew it.
No, like with females, like I know we wake up, we do our makeup for the most part. You know, you get yourself ready. When you go to bed, you wash your face and you wake up. And with how my hair is, I have natural curls. So, of course, I wash my hair at night. It's going to frizz up like a frizz ball in the morning. And don't get me started because when I would wake up and not have coffee,
yeah, the coffee thing is big.
Huge.
So I'm not a big coffee drinker. I'll have it every now and again, but I don't need coffee. This one here absolutely needs her coffee. I'm talking a pot a day.
No. It used to be that bad.
Up until a couple weeks ago.
A couple months ago.
Has it been a couple months?
Mm-hmm.
Still, a pot a day for 9.5 years of our relationship is what it was, or it was like
it was very.
Do I want to compare it to PMSing? I don't know. That's touchy. I don't want to get smacked right now, but
no.
I mean, it's up there.
For some reason, I mean, I am a huge coffee drinker, and it's just that's the first thing. Like, don't talk to me, don't look at me, nothing. I get up and I go make my coffee, and I have to get that first like half a cup in, and then you get normal me back. Like slowly but surely, I'm coming back to you.
Yeah, that face.
It's one to remember. You're welcome.
Thanks. I could never hold that against anybody. This is more of just kind of like a joke in a way.
Yeah.
But it is ultimately the first time you see your partner that you're now living with in that state when all you're used to is that person getting ready and looking all fancy when you're going out on a date. And, you know, you're not thinking, oh, I wonder what she looks like when she wakes up in the morning. Because all you see is the effort and the time that she or he have put into making themselves look as good as they can to impress you on your date. You know what I mean? And then, and then you wake up like even the next, I think like, because we, you know, spent the night before we actually like moved in with each other. You know, we had nights where we spent the night with each other, but I think if I remember correctly, it was either you would get up first and like go fix yourself up, or I was getting up and I would be out in the living area or in the kitchen making breakfast or something like that. So
I think for the most part, it would be a weeknight. A lot of the times, and you would have to work the next day, and then I would just get up, and you would have to leave first, and then I would get up after.
but even on the weekends, right? Like on the weekends, I would get up. So and you were still sleeping. So like I didn't like sit there and see your wake up face,
But I
Your-
feel like at that
your
time
morning
too.
glory.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
I think at that time too, like when it's just you and I, when we were just started dating before moving into a place together, like we didn't have kids, we didn't have the stress of that, so then I could actually take more time and more effort and care more, I guess. Whereas when we moved in together and had all 6 kids, it's like waking up and I needed my coffee right away, and I already knew that something was going to happen because of our kids, and craziness always happens. So at that point, it's like throw your hair in a messy bun and get upstairs, have your coffee, and conquer the messes that are about to happen.
Well, and I'm one, like the first thing I do when I get out of bed is I brush my teeth. Like that's just how I am. Like that's the first thing. It's not, I'm not worried about someone else being able to smell my morning breath. It's more of I feel disgusting. So like it's for me, it's like a refreshing thing.
Yeah.
But like you're typically first thing you're doing is heading down to the kitchen and make that coffee. So like I feel like I kind of freshen up. So so sometimes you don't really get to see, I guess, what I could look like. I
Maybe,
mean,
but
but you said it yourself, I always look good. So
Oh my gosh. But at the same time, okay. I do brush my teeth in the morning before I drink coffee.
yeah, I wasn't saying
and
you're
I
bright.
and I brush them after. Whereas like you wake up and you're right. You get to brush your teeth and put your deodorant on and get yourself ready. And who's taking care of everything else? This lady right here.
Yeah, but that's not a fair assumption when most of the time you get up before the kids are awake.
That's not an assumption.
Sure, because you're saying you take care of everything, but if the kids are sleeping, then and I'm talking even back at the beginning because that's what this.
I've always been an
episode's
early
about.
riser.
Yeah, you have, but you're also an early go to bedder.
Yeah.
You're like 7:30 must go to bed.
True story. I'm all
Which I
about
mean,
it.
some people are like that, and that's fine. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, it's midnight. I got another couple hours in me.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I like my bed. I like my sleep.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I guess those are really the main things that for me were kind of a shocker and took some getting used to. But I mean, overall, I may have made it sound worse than what it actually is. We're on a podcast, so I'm trying to make it entertaining. But in all reality, it's like I get over it, and sometimes I'm like, I get a little frustrated. It's like, damn, like why is this pile of stick figure drawings still sitting right here in the middle of my floor?
oh my gosh. That's something that we argued about so much.
Well,
Well,
I wouldn't.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
say
say
argue. Yeah. You're just like, why are you keeping these stick figure drawings? And I'm like, you don't understand. It's from when they were like 4 in preschool. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, like throw them away. You don't need to keep them. And there are certain ones that I have kept. I have thrown away a lot of things because it is unnecessary to keep all that. Because I had like 4 totes of all of their school stuff.
And some of them, I mean, it's good to keep, right? But
Yeah, I
like
do.
when the kids were like, "Oh, I'm bored," and they draw a line, that's not something I would keep. But like you would be like, "Oh, this is a keepsake, and it's going into the bin of treasures over here."
I want to hold on to everything forever.
Yeah, and I understand that. I mean, nobody wants their kids to grow up. At least most parents, I guess. But I think there are certain things like pictures are more important to me. Like
Yes.
actual camera pictures
Yep.
are more important to me than a drawing that they spent 5 seconds on that really had no meaning when when they're at school and they make this Mother's Day card that has a meaning behind it, right? Because they're
Yes.
doing it out of love for you.
Yes.
So yeah, I could see something like that. But when it's just like, I'm gonna sit down and draw. Oh, my friends are actually coming over to play. So I just drew this one stick figure and I'm done drawing now. It's like for me, crumble that shit up, toss it
No,
in the
because
trash.
they come back and they check. They're like, oh, where's my drawing? Or they throw something away and then they get sad because they see the evidence.
And then what do I say when they come back and do that?
I don't know.
I threw it away. Make me another drawing.
That's sad. You don't want to break their heart.
It's not breaking their heart. If they spent hours on the drawing, yeah, it's going to break their heart, but I'm not going to throw those ones away.
But that 2 minutes that they spent on that drawing in their little minds could mean like 2 hours to them. I think the preschool teacher heart is coming out in me, and I really think it is.
Yeah, and I never took that into consideration. I'm actually glad you brought that up because that makes me think now. You were a preschool teacher, so you had lots of children, so you were around that kind of environment all the time. And I don't know, I can't remember. You were a preschool teacher for at least 5 years, right?
10
10 years.
in the preschool. Yep.
Okay, so 10 years. So yeah, 10 years. I could see why, because as a teacher, you're going to hold on to that kind of stuff a little bit more than you would if you weren't a teacher, I guess. And maybe I'm wrong, but that kind of sounds like it would be appropriate, right?
Long story short, with that, you work with all these little minds. You see how hard they work on these things, the effort that they put into it, and how proud they are to give it to that parent or whoever. So then the receiver should just really cherish that. And so when the kids are making me something, I truly cherish what they make me, no matter what it is, because I've witnessed the effort and the hard work that these kids have put into it. It may not mean something to us as adults because our minds are like, it's a stick figure. Like, why did you draw me that? But to them, it means so much more than that. And that's what matters most.
The receiver. You're used to receiving, aren't you?
Obviously. I have 4 kids.
Okay.
What did you think about when we moved in together and I had all my decor?
Oh, we're touching on decor.
This is a huge one for him, guys.
So, I am okay with decor. But I think the issue I have isn't the decor itself, it's when it's put out. And by mid-August, maybe beginning of August probably, you wanted to decorate for fall.
August 1st. Literally went into work around that week and I saw in the back there were yellow leaves that fell on the ground. And I told the girls at work, that's my sign. I have to decorate for fall. That is my sign that fall is here and I have to do it. And I went home and told you and you were like, absolutely not. So what did I do?
Well, you were like, oh my God, Starbucks now has the pumpkin spice coffee. You know what that means? But I'm like,
Yes,
I
sir.
even looked it up. I was like, fall's not officially here until I think it was like September 22nd. I hate the winters. We're in Colorado. I hate the snow. I'm tired of it. I hate driving in it. I just like the summer.
Yeah.
Just when we go out, we barbecue, we hang out with friends more. Winter's all about everybody hibernating and staying
So true.
inside. So like I want to hold on to summer as long as I can. And when you're pushing fall in the middle of my summer, I'm like, no, like
But it's not the middle.
just give me that little bit. Yeah,
It's
well,
the
kind of it.
end.
No, because summer starts in June, right? That's when summer's
Oh
official.
my gosh.
And if you're
They're
starting,
wrong on the calendar. Whoever put those dates on there are wrong.
and then when you're starting to decorate for fall, the beginning of August, that's the middle of summer.
Nope. Nope. It's a slow process because you have like the beginning of fall, then you have Halloween, and then you have Thanksgiving decor, and then you have winter, like then you have Christmas decor, and then after Christmas you have winter decor. It's just like,
I don't want fall decor put out in the middle of summer. And I don't want spring decor put out when it's December because then I get excited. I'm like, yeah, the heat's coming, but actually we have 4 more months. before the heat's actually here.
The crappy part is in Colorado, we never know when spring is technically over until after Mother's Day
That is true.
because we can have a big storm up until then.
That is true.
That does suck.
I want to hold on to the warm weather for as long as I possibly can. And when the
Yeah.
decor for winter and fall comes out, it makes me realize that snow is right around the corner. And I don't like it.
Yeah, but like when we moved in together though, I had my totes and I remember you being like, "What is this? Why do you need all this?" And it is still a topic of like, "Why do you need all these totes? Why do you need all this decor? I don't understand." And to me, it's like, mind your business. You do your thing, let me do mine.
I'll tell you why. I have this thing where if you haven't touched something in over a year and it's been boxed away and we move into a place, it's still in the box, it hasn't come out of the box, so when we move again, it's still in the same exact spot, the box hasn't even been open.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, to me, it's like, do we really need it? Like, we haven't touched it. Like, all we're doing is creating more work for us and having to move it to the next place and find another spot for it to just sit in the box. So I think that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, it's unnecessary to keep some of the things. And that's why I'm so quick to be like, I haven't touched it, toss it. And you're like, what? Why are you going to toss this? Like, well, I haven't touched it in a year. Why do I need it? Like, it's
My decor I use.
okay, but decor is a little bit different, but there were a lot more tubs full of other things.
There were. You know what? I did really good at like getting rid of a lot of stuff recently. Like
You did.
I went through a big phase of like I threw away a lot of my stuff and it did. It felt really good to like get rid of those items. Not just those specific items, but like to have less on me, if that makes sense. Just unnecessary stuff that I was holding on to.
Yeah, this move was a really big improvement, I think, for both of us. Particularly you in throwing away some of the items that we've held on to for 10 years that we never touched. I don't even
Yep.
know, like, you pulled out a lot of that stuff and I didn't even know you had it.
Yep.
So I'm like, where has this been? Why are there so many cobwebs? Why?
Oh, yes. They're at least in totes. There's no cobwebs in there.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's kind of the stuff that bothered us when we first moved in with each other. I want to hear from you guys. Comment below, tell us some of the stuff that bothered you with your significant other, or even an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or
Seriously.
ex-husband or wife.
With or without kids. Because obviously,
with kids comes more, obviously.
yes, but even without kids, like I feel like you get more personal with that because when you have kids, you're focused on the kids and everything else. Whereas I really want to know too, like if you don't have kids, like what was that like moving in together and what you experienced, what you I guess observed from your partner that you didn't realize when you were dating. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it does. I want to hear from everybody. So
I'm so sorry. I want to hear from everybody too.
I know. That's kind of what you just said. I
Jeez.
was agreeing with you. Communication. We talked about this last episode. Come on
okay.
now.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, thank you for another fantastic episode. Thank you for sticking to the end.
Yes, because we tend to ramble.
Yeah. And please don't take this as a bickering at all because we were just kind of having fun with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we got to get going. We have an OnlyFans to shoot. The link is in the bio.
Oh, that.
Huh?
I don't think you can put that on there.
What?
You?
What?
The link?
Are we doing this?
The OnlyFans? You're
Yeah.
gonna put the link on there?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Between our sheets.